Jeff, I wanted to ask you before we get going, how do you get your beard so stellar? Like, no, listen, I'm not even bullshitting you. So look at my shitty ass beard I got right now. Right. And like,
it's not shitty though. It looks good.
It's all right. It's all right. I've had a better, like I've had a bigger beard, but it's managing it is fucking like, I am so. Do you remember the Brady Bunch? Do you remember when Marsha Brady would brush like 100 times this side, 100 times that side? I do that with my beard brush. Constantly.
99.
Yeah. I do that.
Yeah, that's all I do, man. I haven't done fuck all with it really because of the pandemic. It's covered with a mask all the time anyway.
Yeah, so that's why I used
like
to
shit
do
under there.
I used to do the Just for Men thing because I had half of my chin.
Dude, rocked it. Just rock the salt and pepper. Everybody likes that.
Yeah,
anyway.
well, now that it's all there, but it was only half before, and I couldn't deal with that. I've got enough issues. Like I walk in public and people look at me because I'm fucking 6'30", fucking 400 pounds. People are like, "What the fuck is that?" And now you got like the stripe beard. So I always had to like just do it. But now it's all salt and pepper. So I'm good with it now. But what I'm not good with is it's always fucking messy, and I hate it. I'm at that weird stage. You know that weird stage where you really can't just. Like it's just long enough that it's a pain in the ass, but it's not long enough where you can actually do something with it. I'm at that stage right now. And again,
yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm about to hack it all off. I'm just about to
that's what I do every time. I just get fucking frustrated.
Yeah, I get so. Then if I don't clean, I can't. If I go clean shaven, I look like fucking Baby Huey to the old people in the room.
I always say I look like a dick with ears when I go like clean shaven because then I have no hair on my head or my face.
That's what happened when I grew my hair out. My hair like took so long to grow out that it was just like a shrub. Like it grew out instead of down, So it was like for the first year and a half, it was so uncomfortable. Like I just stuffed it under a hat. Like there was just no doing anything with it. And then like finally I had to wait I think it was just about 2 years for it to get like long enough to where it was like long,
God bless you for having hair. That's what happens to my back hair. It grows out instead of down. So.
Nice.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, you missed a hell of a show at my house. I'm not gonna lie.
Oof. I'm sorry, man. I wish I could have been there. That sounded like it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And for the most part, everybody was pretty cool, like as far as like just letting them perform and and we raised a little bit of money for them. That's the best part,
Yeah, that was cool.
So, well, just do it again.
There's gonna be more, I think.
Yeah,
that's the plan. Idea. I'm trying to talk Trev into turning his living room into a venue, an unofficial venue.
It's called
living
DIY
room sessions.
Go for it,
dude. The drowns are coming to the East Coast. Maybe I can get them in here.
Hey, dude. Hey, why not? Right?
Maybe you can get Bridge City Sinners play a nice little set in there. Ari and I have been talking about them so much lately. He was like, yeah, I really like, because I was saying the Coffin Salesman should play open a show for them or whatever. And he was he was like, dude, they're big time. And I was like, dude, nobody's too big time for anybody. Like you could totally open a show for them.
If
like
a band likes you,
we could arrange it. Somebody could arrange it. I'm sure,
Did you guys?
But we both missed them when they came through town.
Did you guys see that? My friend who went to that show, she brought me a record the other night. She's like, hey, she was taking some school up here. She's like, hey, I got something for you. She's like, I ordered it, but I bought it at the show because I was too impatient for it to come in. So you can have it. So, it's not Unholy Hymns. That one's still on pre-sale, but whatever the one is before that.
Nice.
Did you guys see that band where the chick peed on the dude?
No.
Yeah, dude.
Was it called Brass Against?
Yeah,
Trev, I don't think that was a band you were watching. I think that was probably a porn.
It just had really good music.
It was just a porn with really good music. Yeah.
All right, so I think if anything, like they're gonna like she did this. If anything, like people are talking about her now, right? So there's this band called Brass Against,
stunt.
And basically what they are, they just do covers and like you can't even. It's not ska, but it's just all brass instruments, and then she's singing,
Mm-hmm.
And she like unleashed the fucking, like, she let the levees open on this
She was
dude.
mid. Well, so she's mid set, right? So like you're mid set, and you're in the show. You're not going backstage to take a piss. You got to finish the show. And she's like, I've got to piss. I can't. And she's saying it in the like between songs. She's like, I don't know if I can hold this anymore. She's like, I'm gonna need somebody to give me a cup or something. And this dude's just like raging, like, yeah, I'll do it. And so she makes him lay on stage and hold this can in his mouth. And she just kneels over him and then just unleashes a few. I mean, it is literally Niagara Falls, dude.
I was like, holy.
Like a dude
And the
from
thing
the audience.
the thing is he just like lets the fucking can fall to the side and then just like is in the glory of it. He's enjoying
Whoa.
it. He's loving it,
Wow.
dude.
I'm
I
not
feel
gonna
like he
lie.
should have paid extra for that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I might have let her done it to me. She is
Yeah.
gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And obviously she's a little loose because she did that. And I go for the
The band,
crazy. So.
the band's like, we didn't know she would do that. And she's just like, look, I couldn't hold it anymore. It was just happening.
There was a big apology
Wow.
issued. I think she got kicked out of the venue.
It was
she?
a brass band though. Why didn't she just like piss in a tuber?
Inside of it into a horn. I feel
That'd
like
be great.
so wearing the hat of somebody who works at a venue, yeah, I'd have been fucking pissed.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have been like,
Yeah, you would have.
you
Like,
gotta
are you
fucking
serious?
Well,
clean that
hey,
up.
well, the classic line, Jeff. Rather be pissed off than pissed on.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely is. All right, are we ready to rock and roll or what?
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. All right, cool. Now, are you awake now? Did I wake you
Yeah.
up with that?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Chris, throw it down. What are we doing?
Oh man, burping up some coffee is what's happening here. No, we're back. We're doing another Bandcamp Friday roundtable. This is shared between the shows. Trev Allen is here. I'm here. Chris Chavez. Michael's here from Punk as Folk. And we've got Jeff from Dirty Decibel. Dirty Decibels or Dirty Decibel?
Decibels with an
There's
S.
an S.
Yeah.
There you go. And we're here to talk Bandcamp music, bands, push them, make sure people go out and purchase their music on the first Friday of the month, as it is still Bandcamp Friday. Is it still, though, in December, or is this the last one?
I don't know if this is the last one or not. It said, like, the last thing I read was this was up until, like, it was up December's. They don't have plans for 2022 yet, but they probably will. I don't see why they wouldn't at this point.
Yeah, I think it seems like they just keep doing it. You know,
Cool.
I don't know. I think it's gotten enough positive feedback that it's worth it for them to do it because it keeps. I don't know. I think they're going to keep doing it.
I'm sure
We're gonna keep doing it.
Like doesn't hit their bottom line.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like even if they weren't doing the official Bandcamp Friday anymore, I mean, there's still no harm in like just raising awareness for bands on Bandcamp and being like, go buy their shit on any day of the month. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, for sure. But we're going to keep doing this every first Friday of the month. We're going to keep doing Bandcamp Friday, where we come with, recommendations, bands, albums to go check out and support. So this time we're not going so long, right? We don't have such a long list this time around for each of us.
I feel like all we did was drop off two things, right? We dropped off a single, but yeah, we'll do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna see how it goes.
Well, I didn't have time to study, so I'll be short.
Yeah, that was my fault.
No, it's all good.
No,
it's
it
all
was
good.
totally my fault.
I did what I normally do. I just listen, and as I listen, I just type some thoughts down. So we'll see how this comes out.
Cool.
yeah,
Cool.
for sure.
Sweet. Who wants to go first? Who's going first? How are we going to do this? We're just going to go through each of ours and then everyone comment on it.
Yeah, on each one again. We'll do that like last
Let's
time.
do it.
Well, all right, let's do that.
You want to
Who
kick it off,
wants
Trev?
Oh yeah, all right. I gotta open up my list because I forgot what I picked.
Clockwise from top.
I
you
will
go.
I will say this. Everyone brought some fucking heaters. Like absolute bang.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the stuff I cannot wait to talk about with you guys. I gotta open up my Instagram because that's where I put my list.
You
That's
want
how-
me to tell you your list? I have it open.
No, I got it. Hold on. We're gonna be
Two of your three I'd already heard, Trev. You sent them to me in a text one time.
Oh, have I?
Yeah. The first one I hadn't though.
No. All right, so my local was Oh the Humanity, their LP. It came out. It just came out this year. Is that it right there? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I have like I don't know if it's a 7-inch or a 10-inch from them from a while back, and I kind of forgot about them, only because I get so much music like thrown at me, So being able, like, I knew they dropped an album this year. And I think the last one we recorded, Jeff, you might have mentioned them, right?
Yes, I had them on the show.
Yeah.
They did an episode after they right when they released the album. So.
Yeah. And then the last Bandcamp episode, we were just, I think it might have been after we shut everything off. We were just bullshitting about something and you brought them up or something. But yeah, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot about them. And I went back and I heard like their new LP, and I ordered it yesterday. I was like, they were like sold out of all the copies except for one color, like the blue with orange splatter. And I was like, all right, I'm buying that one. That's the one.
Not a bad one to have.
No. So I was like, all right, that's the one I'm getting. And I picked it up. Yeah, I don't know this, for a local band, there's so many local bands that I hear and I'm like, why aren't these guys everywhere? Like why? And that's definitely one of them. Yeah, so that was my first pick.
Nice. This is what I wrote when I was listening. I put fast and driving punk, melodic. I love the guitar work on the opening song, At Our Lowest. There's flavors of metal riffing, which is present throughout the entire album. The vocals are clear and strong. The band is tight. The song Never Worse takes a moment to breathe after the breakneck pace of the first two tracks. And then here we get a sense of the melodic side of the band. Then everyone in Gainesville steps up the pace again, and for the rest of the album, it doesn't let up. It's a power punch of post-melodic hardcore punk, and I dig it. It's a solid choice for Bandcamp Friday.
Damn, Chris, you're so poetic.
I know. You want to just, hey, how about I just send you my list?
How about you just review everything from now on?
Right?
We will just sit here.
Yeah, dude, I can't help it, man. Like when I sit and I have it in my ears and I just start writing what I'm feeling and thinking, man. And then I clean it up. Obviously, it's not going to just keep rambling.
The hint of metal is
the metal riffing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
that's Chris. That's a lot of that's Chris. Chris is like his little guitar, like he just like I love it. And they're also a band that makes me a little bit nostalgic for some of the kind of like screamo post-hardcore stuff that like I listened to when I was younger a lot. And they're also just great fucking guys, like just they're homies and they're super nice guys, and they always put on their energy live is incredible. I've seen them play a couple of times here at home. I've seen them play at Fest too, which was a treat. And they also sonically, that record, they did it at Q Division. So like, it sounds pro as fuck. Like just excellent recording, excellently mixed. And yeah,
how's it sound on vinyl? How does it sound on vinyl?
It's good. It sounds great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Nice. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to have to, man. I loved the sound.
You better hurry up, dude. They're almost out of everything.
So
good.
Yeah, melodic
they'll have more
hardcore. Like, order this. I just made a note to make sure I get it ordered because they were really good.
All right, so my second one for far and away, this band, I feel like they're not talked about enough. Doc Rotten, they're a fucking killer, and they've got this like, I don't know, they've got this like hard punk meets melodic, and they have a new album coming out this year, I think, or probably next year now. And I know they're on tour right now. But yeah, these guys, solid dudes. I think I first heard of them around the same time I learned about Stolen Wheelchairs. I know they're I think they're tight, like they know each other pretty well. Yeah. And I think they're from Jersey, right? They're a Jersey band. So they've got that Jersey sound too, which I totally am into. Go ahead, Chris. Just ruin everything I just said.
Oh, Doc Rotten, dude. I know. I've heard these guys before. This is high energy, fuel injected, black leather punk rock with a side of hardcore sneer and street gang resolve. There's hints of Dropkick Murphy, Social Distortion, and Bouncing Souls weaving throughout the album with nods to the Ramones here and there. It's fun, keeps your head bobbing the entire time. My favorite track is Listen Up. That's all I had to say about that.
So great. I really liked him too. I also wanted to say I started to listen to that record, and then also they have like a newer single called like Psych Ward 103 that I was listening to too,
Yeah.
and I was just like, this is fucking great. Like the lyrics are really clever too.
Yeah.
Like it's got that like fast driving like punk sound, but I'm always a sucker when there's like also like really clever lyrics or something that's like slightly humorous or like whatever. I don't know. I just they're great. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, that new single's really good too. Yeah. But I didn't know if we were allowed to pick singles this time.
Yeah, I know. I'm cheating. It cheated a little bit.
No, that's fine. Talk about them all you want. I'm excited to hear their next album. I really am. I can't wait. I think these guys. There was a time with the Get Punk subscription that I didn't have it because I didn't have a home because I was traveling so much for work. Not that I was, homeless, but
It's okay, dude. We get it.
but yeah, no, I think they had something that came out that went to that subscription, and it was during that year that I didn't get it, so I was pissed that I after the fact. But I can't wait to hear more from them. I'm gonna reach out to them. I want them on the podcast, just to fucking chop it up with them because they seem like a bunch of cool guys. So.
The first time I heard him was on Scotty Saints's the cholangiocarcinoma benefit album.
Yeah.
That's the first time I heard the band.
Since
and
then
you sent me the actual album itself. You know what I mean?
Since you mentioned it, why don't you plug it, bud?
Hey, that's right. We always talk about it. We want people to check out the benefit album for cholangiocarcinoma. It's on the Damaged Heart Records label. Scotty Saints, friend of the show. Go check it out. Make sure you support because it's going to a good cause, fighting that cancer.
What's it called?
Oh man, I don't. What is it called? Punk for a purpose.
Punk with a purpose.
For a purpose. Punk with a purpose.
Yeah. I got him. All right, well, go ahead.
Oops, sorry. Do we want to throw in the benefit for Bueno?
Oh,
so,
there you go.
So everybody can listen to Faith in My Fretboard 15 times a week, like I do.
Yeah, go
There you
ahead.
go.
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't. It's a benefit out compilation. A bunch of bands covered old Edison songs as a tribute to help Will Good, who was in a car. I hope I got that name right.
Yep.
Who was in
Yes.
a car accident or motorcycle accident. He was in a vehicular accident.
Yeah, it was a car
so-
accident.
Yeah.
It goes to help with his medical expenses and time off and stuff like that, I think.
And
I
it's
don't
a-
know. It's a rad album.
It really
Yeah.
is. It really is. So, and Jeff's on that album. I always got to say that now when Jeff's
Oh,
on
yeah.
that.
It was it's a good record, and it's also like a joy. It's a really sad record for the fact that it had to be made, but it's also like a really joyful record to listen to so many different like homies in the Boston area like cover those songs and just do their own interpretations of them and stuff like that. So
I call the old Edison like Boston's best kept secret for a band.
that's a great name. Yeah, that's a great way to describe them.
Yeah,
for sure.
and like it's they're so good too. They were so good.
Are they like, I don't quite understand it. Are they like a band or are they like a rotating cast of people who just jam?
Yes,
and it's
yes.
fucking
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
The answer's yes.
I love them. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Sadly, they're not really a band anymore. They will occasionally sort of come together for reunion type shows in certain situations, and obviously they did for this as well after the record came out. But
I watched it on the live stream. I was upset that I couldn't get there, but I watched that one on the live stream.
it was a good time.
All right, so my X Factor is from the band The Lot. Now, I was just talking to Oscar Caps on the podcast recently, so this might be my low hanging fruit choice, but this album is like resonates with me really all the time. I listen to it constantly. If you go to your Bandcamp app, and we're gonna get to Speaking of which, last time we recorded together, gentlemen, you all were giving me shit because I couldn't buy stuff through the app. Right? Come to find out, that is an iOS feature. I was gonna
say I can't.
You can buy physical media because I bought I bought 3 records from all the list that we were doing today. I've bought 3 records yesterday through that app, but I couldn't buy any of the digital albums. So
weird, right? It's weird, man.
That is weird.
So
also, prior to last episode, I wasn't even using the app. So, yeah. I mean,
yeah. I like to go
better on me.
Yeah.
I was just using it. I didn't even think I realized that it was an app. I thought you just had to go to the browser.
Yeah. So there's a really cool feature with the Bandcamp app. When you go to your list of bands, when you click the heart and it brings you to all the albums you've bought, it's called most played. And if you click most played if you're on my account and you click most played, it's the Rooftops album and then it's The Lot. Those are the 2 albums I listen to the most. And again, that album, it's called Drunk, Depressed, and Desperate. Which, I mean, we can have therapy with me later, but if that's not a perfect example of not an example, but if that just that whole album just really resonates with me. And there's a Struggling with Myself episode coming out this week. Well, I guess it would already aired by this. And I've never done this before. I actually reached out to Oscar and I said, hey, can I use a song for one of my solo episodes? Usually I just play like a song that Jonathan Rodriguez wrote. But yeah, so I this album just hits home. If you're going through some shit and if you need to hear something that makes you feel like you're not the only one going through a fucking tough time, that album is right there. It's right there. And it's just track by track. Like you don't feel as alone as it goes on. And so Oscar Caps the third, that's his band. And then his son's band is Stolen Wheelchairs, and they're both in both bands. So, and it's really cool. And it's just and like their styles of writing are similar, but like I guess it's different. It's different stories that they're telling, obviously. And I really, The Lot, that album, like the first time I picked it up, I just couldn't get enough of it. And I play it at least once a week. So.
I'm gonna piggyback off what you said. Like, I know the Wheelchairs are fucking all the rage and I love the Wheelchairs, but The Lot of the 2 is my personal favorite band just because I feel like the songs resonate with me more. I really enjoyed The Lot. This is a stellar album, and I don't trust anybody who doesn't resonate with being drunk, depressed, and desperate.
Fair enough.
Yeah, those guys are great. They're like just that straight up, like in your face Philly punk. It's just got that grit to it. I know those guys. I've stayed at Oscar's house actually on tour. And they're super great guys. They're really fun to hang out with. And I think the father-son like it's such a unique thing. Like Oscar, like Big Oscar is obviously like, a young dad. So like they're like not that far apart in age, really. Like, I mean, they are, but it's just like, how often do you have like a father and a son that are both in a band together, in a punk band together, and also in 2 different bands together, you know what I mean? And like they all kind of roll together with like the same crew and everything. Like it's just really cool. It's a cool, like, dynamic brings a cool dynamic to their.
I can't say enough good things about either band, to be honest with you. Like, and they're great people. They're fucking, and we talked a lot about like him being a dad when he was on the podcast, and that's somebody who's doing it right, and someone who breaks that, like, that stigma that you can't follow like your dreams with your art and have a family,
Right.
So
right. Yeah. Literally proves that stereotype wrong. So yeah,
for this album I put I'd heard this before. Again, you sent me this, Trev, and it's hard, it's fast, it reminds me of a mix between No Effects and Face to Face. I love the sound clips that they add to certain songs, like these clips from movies or TV shows. And I'm a huge fan of that. When I hear bands do that all the time, because I love movies and TV shows, a lot of times I try to figure out what it is before I have to go and look it up to see who they used. So I love that they did that through this. I also put, so this speaks to what you're talking about, Trevor, in terms of the content, right? I put that the songs are tight and concise and that the lyrics explore the 3 words of the album title in depth. The album does a great job of encapsulating how many people in the world feel in their lives at one point or another. Lost, hopeless, feeling like they're completely adrift with no land in sight. This is a killer album, top to bottom.
I hate you. You just steal the fucking thunder every time. You're living up you're living up to that Henry Miller title I gave you.
I'm just gonna from now. I'm just gonna be like, it was cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide where you got all this time because I know when we submitted albums, and I was like,
yesterday
I'm gonna listen to
afternoon,
like one of each because I got shit to do.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at.
That's awesome.
Luckily, Trev and the only advantage I have is that Trev and I know a few of the same bands, so like I already knew them. But
nice.
Oh god! All right, that was my list.
Nice.
So, yeah, someone else go so Chris can just take over.
Nah,
I'm only kidding. You do such a good job with that, and I like the fact that
we love it. It brings the whole show together.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm so like not that way when I'm trying to describe something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that you do that. So when I tell you that I hate you, like it's out of love.
I know, dude. I know.
All right. Plus, you were at my house last week. You know,
it's a loving hate.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm just gonna let Chris do my list and go see if this food truck has eggs and bacon.
All right, who's next? Jeff, you're up, right?
All right. So my local, I did the band Time and Place. They released an EP earlier in the year called American White Noise. It's fantastic. They were my inaugural episode. I had them. They were the first episode that I did back when I brought the podcast back was Time and Place. And I know a couple of those people really well, in particular Ryan Kumi. And I love their sound. It's sort of like I would describe it as being very like just like I thought about this descriptor before and I was like, it's a very like full-bodied punk kind of folk punk, and then I'm like, that sounds like I'm describing fucking wine like a like a douchebag, but it's got a lot of heart to it. They cover a Frightened Rabbit song. The last song on the EP is The Twist. That's a Frightened Rabbit cover, and Frightened Rabbit is like a super interesting band to cover just because they're just like a very unique band. And they're a band that I'm very intrigued by, that I've tried to get into, that it hasn't, like, I haven't fully gotten into them, but everything that I've listened to of theirs I really like. And so when Time and Place like took that cover and like did their own thing with it, I was like really impressed by that too. And if you listen to some of the lyrics and a lot of the themes on that record, they're very timely themes that were written even before, because they like kind of finished writing it, I think, right before the pandemic. So it's one of those things where it's like you release it and it like becomes more relevant to the time when you release it than even when you wrote it, type of thing. And I've heard bands tell stories about that happening a lot, but yeah, just like really, really timely, relevant lyrics and like just a lot of heart and soul on that record. So
I've never heard of them, and that was the first album I put on when we submitted our lists. And it blew my mind. It blew me away. They're really good. I'm going to dive into more. I didn't know Ryan Kumi was in that band as well. Mm-hmm. So he's in a bunch of bands, isn't
he? Yeah, a few.
Yeah, no. So I can't wait to check out more of their stuff. And that was one I couldn't buy through the app because it's just digital. So I'll end up buying it, but just not through my app.
Right. Yeah. They roll in kind of the same. They used to roll in kind of the same circles as the Old Edison. They played a lot of shows with the Old Edison. They did a split with the Old Edison. That's a great record to listen to.
I think
They
I
did a
have
cool
that
split.
split.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they cover each other. They've like covered each other's songs and stuff like that at different shows. So they were all homies. And kind of like we're in the same Boston like folk punk circle,
Nice.
sort of.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I listened to this on the way down here yesterday. So I was driving, and the only note I have says "Holy fuck, buy this." So
So you're gonna buy it?
yeah. I
great.
remember really liking it, but I don't have anything of value to say.
I put that aside from being almost 5 minutes long, the opening song "Repent" is just good old fashioned punk rock and roll. It's raw, driving, and fast. I'm a huge fan of gang vocals, and this has it throughout the EP. Love it. Having never heard them before, they hooked me with those 3 songs. I saw that their last song was a cover, when I was looking at the info. So I decided to listen to the Frightened Rabbits version first before I listened to their version. And you're right, Jeff. I mean, they make it their own, and it still sounds like Frightened Rabbit. You know what I mean? But it's their own.
But the gang vocals at the end and everything, it's so great.
It's so good. And I see what you're saying also about Frightened Rabbits. It's I don't want to say quirky, but there's something about it that makes it's unique, right?
Yeah,
and
Frightened Rabbit's a cool band. Yeah.
I get what you mean, though. It's like I can't see it seems overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff to listen to. They got a lot of stuff. And to get into that kind of music, I feel like I'd have to be in the mood or that kind of vibe to really just sit down and listen to nothing but. But yeah, I dig it. It was cool. Good job. Nice one.
Good job, Jeff.
Yeah. Nice pick.
Yeah, cool. So my anywhere band pick was the band Lost Love. Who are also kind of homies. They're from Montreal. So Guillaume, the lead singer of that band, is one of the organizers of Poozah Fest. So he's like on the board of people that like run Poozah Fest every year. So he's booked A Minor Revolution. He's booked OC45. He's like booked a bunch of friends bands and stuff like that up there when we've gone up to Poozah Fest. And so I kind of know them through that, but I've seen them play. They would always usually play on the main stage at Poozah. I've seen them play down at Fest, I believe, at least once as well. But they're just really fun. Like really heartfelt pop punk, really positive, kind of like positive energy. This new record, Empathy, I've only had a chance to listen to it like one full time through, and then another, like halfway through. But one thing I was noticing I feel like this record has matured a little bit, like with their sound. If you listen to some of their past records, like they used to do, like if you look at it, even if you just look at a few of their past records, they used to do the really like funny, jokey, long song title type things. And then like this time around, like the like really clever kind of like, song titles based off of like quotes from movies and like different things like that. And this time around, it's gotten a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more like mature is kind of like I don't mean that in like a mean way, but like it just like
I know
it just kind of solidified a little bit. But they still just have like a really like again like a really like fun like dense sound, a little bit of an anthemic sound, and they have just kind of like positive spin on their lyrics. A lot of their stuff, again, it's like super relatable to depression and relationships and stuff like that. And they're just a really fun band to they're a great live band too. They've always put on a pretty great show live. So
my notes were they sound like Weezer but good. So like they have like a Weezer-esque like playing, you know what I mean? And but I like it better than I like Weezer. So
that's funny. I put right away the opening vocals suck me in, and when the band hits, it's pure melodic pop punk. The second song, Mercury, has a bit of Weezer DNA driving it. Need More Empathy has an almost surf rock vibe happening. Everything Is All Right is a bouncy driving tune. Overall, this is another fun album for Bandcamp Friday, and it's one I'll be picking up.
So I guess everybody's in agreement here, because I had pop punk with an indie/artsy vibe to it, which I guess you could use to describe Weezer as well.
Yeah.
So really, if you like Weezer, pick up this album and listen to what they'd sound like if they were good.
Or if you or if you wanted to like Weezer but didn't, pick up this
Right,
album.
right.
Right.
If you don't like Weezer, pick up this
I
album.
mean, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Like, I like some Weezer songs, but overall, like, I can't call myself a Weezer fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this album, these guys, I'd listen to them over and over. So
Yeah, Lost Love's great.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then my my wild card, Trev,
Oh.
you talked earlier about low hanging fruit.
I can't wait.
K-
Whew.
K.C.U.F is my wild card.
So what's that stand for?
So
Is it just fuck backwards?
It technically stands for Ken and Chris's undecided franchise,
Gotcha.
which I believe was I believe they came up with that after the fact.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wanting to call the band K.C.U.F. I should offer the disclosure that Ken in Ken and Chris's undecided franchise is my little brother. So there's the low hanging fruit there. But
that's awesome.
my brother's an incredibly talented drummer, just so intensely good. And this record is kind of their first full blown, professionally recorded, release. It's technically it's an EP, but it's a little bit longer than like your standard EP. And so, and it's just got some absolute bangers on it. Chris is like, his songwriting to me is like super clever. And like really, it's a little bit there's like a lot of like tongue in cheek, different, riffs that he's written and stuff like that, or different like lyrics that he's written, and also the whole record is kind of centered on the theme of like seasonal depression and how it affects like everything. And you couldn't possibly like me as a person can't possibly write a record that relates better to me. It's literally called Every Day is Winter Here. And it's definitely been one of my favorite things to listen to over the past like year. So they're great.
My introduction to this band was they did a live stream, right, with Tiny Oak.
They've done it. Yeah, they've definitely done a few.
And
they've played a bunch of Tiny Oak shows and stuff. Yeah.
I think the Morning Afters was on the live stream with them. I think that's how.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then I missed, because I think the Morning Afters played first, and I like missed them because I was recording a podcast. And then when I got back, when I went back to watching, it was them, was K.C.U.F. And I was like, man, these guys are really good. I was listening to the album, and the song Drop the Knife came on.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to it 5 times, and then Bandcamp said, all right, it's time to buy this or move on. Like it literally said that popped up. Like, up. And I was like, well, I'm buying it right now. So I bought the record. So that should be getting here eventually. I don't know what it was about that song, but it mesmerized me. And I don't know what it was about it. I just couldn't stop listening to that. And then I went back and I listened to the album like 3 times since I bought it, because I had to buy it, these guys are they playing tonight?
Yeah. They played last night. Sorry. K.C.U.F. I think K.C.U.F. played last night, and Coffin Salesman is playing tonight. Or I might have them reversed. There's so many good shows going on this weekend. Raise a Cult's playing up in Portland.
I picked the wrong weekend.
The Humanities playing up there with Raise a Cult, and then the Humanity played, I think, last night at Thirsty Fur. It's just, there's so many great shows going on, and I'm super pissed that I can't go to any of them.
Coffin Salesman plays tonight or tomorrow?
I think tonight in Lowell. Yeah, in Lowell.
Yeah, with
I might.
What's that band that it's one of your bands, Chris? Who's playing with Coffin Salesman tonight?
Sorry,
not to take away from K.C.U.F.
K.C.U.F. played with Loser Circle last night, and I believe tonight Coffin Salesman is playing with. Who are they playing with tonight?
I know that it's on the tip of my
like
tongue.
An idiot.
It's on the tip of my tongue, and I just can't.
Just looking up the.
I'm
looking up the show flyers here.
Chris knows this band too. I don't know if he knows him personally.
Who is it?
On the Cinder.
On the Cinder.
Oh, on the Cinder. They're a Buffalo band.
They're a Buffalo band.
Rochester band. Yeah.
Homies. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, they're cool dudes.
As
They're cool.
soon as you said Chris knew him, it like
Dude.
popped in my head that I saw it on Instagram or something.
Yeah, there's been so many advertisements for just like so many great shows.
Yeah, I know.
The past 3 days.
It's insane. It's
awesome.
insane.
It's great. It's fantastic.
K.C.U.F. I had never heard before. So I wrote, the first track has me thinking, nice, another fun melodic punk rock entry for Bandcamp Friday. Then the second track plays, and there's more to it than straight punk rock. There's hints of rockabilly in the intro before the band launches into a rollicking pop punk grunge jam. And each song that follows highlights an impressive versatility in the dynamic compositions. I really, 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 I put this 3 times, really dig this band. Another one I'll be getting on Bandcamp Friday. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you recommended this one. I'm like Trev, man. I fell in love with that song. I listened to it and I was just like, who are these guys? And so I'm looking through and seeing the names in there. I'm like, that name looks familiar. Hey, Arya's in this? What? Awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, they're great.
This was one of the ones I didn't get to, so I'm definitely.
Oh, dude, you're
have
gonna
to
love
do
it.
that. Yeah.
You are gonna love it.
And you're gonna buy that vinyl. I know you
Actually-
are.
Oh, they have the vinyl. Yeah, if they have the vinyl, I'm definitely buying the vinyl. I bought a vinyl I have last night just because the band had autographed it.
Nice.
Yeah, I bought an extra copy of Coffin Salesman's album when he was here, so I could put it on the wall. So
I still need another one of those. I have no clue what I'm doing with those.
I fully support using records as wall art as well. Just buy two copies of everything, one to play and one to hang up.
Jeff, you would love my place, dude. You'd walk. It's like I got vinyl everywhere on the walls.
Well, the next time you have a show, I will be there. I will make the commitment. I promise.
Awesome. You want to play it?
I was gonna say because you're gonna be playing.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, I can't say enough good things about K.C.U.F. I can't wait for the album to come in. I want to spin it. I want to.
Sweet.
I was listening to it right before this podcast started. So
Already. Who's up next?
I'll go next. We'll save Chris for
There we go.
last.
you look like
Yeah,
you're getting ready
obviously.
for look like you're getting ready for a rap battle over there. You just got like your head's down. You got your. Yeah. All right. What do you got? Let's talk about
Listen,
your
it's
list.
early and I was up late. So my local is Oil Change Punk from, well, the band's just called Oil Change, but I think on Bandcamp it's Oil Change Punk, and it's Oi, like fucking Oi with an exclamation point. And it's just street punk, and they have released this. Oh, sorry. They've released this EP. They're planning on putting out a full length. So they're kind of raising money for that through the sales on Bandcamp and the CD sales, though I think they're out of CDs. And they followed me one day on Instagram. So I checked into them and I was surprised that they were that close. I thought they were really good. And I like that street punk sound. So, I mean, yeah, I don't have a lot to say, but
They reminded me of like Do or Die, Dropkick Murphy.
yeah,
Like a Do or Die, or like the Gang's All Here. Like it's the earlier Dropkick stuff. I was totally into it. I listened back to it again today just to make sure I was still into it, and I was. So,
and it's
like
cool. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
This
sorry.
is giving me a chance. Like, since I moved here, I haven't been like following the local scene. I just liked the bands I liked, and then started just a few months ago looking into the local stuff. And Grand Rapids isn't really close. Honestly, if we keep doing local stuff, I'm gonna have to fucking move or something. But but like 2 hours, I was like, yeah, I'll make that drive. So they're playing a few shows at a club in Grand Rapids around the first of the year. So I'm gonna head up and check them out.
nice.
I was thinking like the Mike McColgan era Dropkick stuff. The notes I wrote was fun, anthemic, gang vocals galore.
Yeah.
And you'll always suck me in with gang vocals. So yeah, these guys were really fun. I want to check them out more. I'm really glad that you recommended them because I dig it.
I'm the same, dude. Gang vocals. If it's gonna make you want to sing along when you're in the crowd, and the entire place is just kind of going along with it. It's awesome. I wrote that. It says it in the band's name. This is Oi, straight up blue collar working class street punk. The vocals are brash and snarling, guitars are chainsaw sharp, and the drums and bass are driving. The EP is full of pumping fists and sneering lips, spit, and blood. That's just how it feels. And I loved it. It's great.
Sorry about hitting my microphone in the middle of that. Beautiful speech.
So for my non-local, can I do two here? I'll do them quick because I just saw a band last night. They are called Dollskin.
Hey, Dollskin are good, dude.
Right. It's garage punk with like that shreddy metal guitar was the only way. And the girl who plays that guitar, the person who plays that guitar is like, I told somebody, I was like, dude, she looks like she's 16. And they were like,
Right.
She is 16. I was like, that's crazy. Like,
yeah,
she
dude,
just
they're young.
rips. She rips, and they were so good live. I couldn't get over it.
I'm the same. I saw them at Van's Warped Tour. Their last Warped Tour, the last one that they did before they re-kicked it off. They kicked it off again, right? Is it? Maybe
I
not.
don't know.
No,
The last
it's
one that
not.
they had, I saw them there, and they did a cover of "Whole Lot of Love" at the end of their set, and they just tore it up. And I remember just going, "Fuck, where's their stuff? I got to go buy their stuff." And I went and bought the vinyl immediately.
They have like a whole album of covers, and they do Uninvited. I think that's Alanis Morissette,
Yeah.
but it's really good. I was
Wow.
listening to it on the way down. My planned one though was the new album. It released yesterday from Avenues. We're All Doomed, and this is punk rock, but in that very, it's like a niche genre, I guess. Like the Lillingtons, kind of alternate reality. Like sometimes I don't even understand what they're saying, but I like it. Like it's just storytelling. Completely fantasy storytelling. Like somebody wanted to write a post-apocalyptic book and they put it to music. So I like it.
The only note I wrote for this one was super rad pop punk, dig this in big letters with exclamation points.
Yeah,
So I didn't have time to dive too deep, but I like what I heard so far.
Mine was wow in fucking that. Yeah, I was into it. I didn't get to write too much about it.
I put another fast black leather punk album. Songs are straightforward. The band is tight and in the pocket. The vocals remind me of AFI or Aiden. There's just hints. And to me, there's hints of Misfits horror in the songwriting. If you get that, the vibe of the band has that kind of horror tinge to them. And I put the same thing. I really dig these.
That's why I went with like comparing them to the Lillingtons, because if you've heard the Lillingtons, that was like the only band I could think of that really like, yeah. And then my X Factor, I've actually talked about this album before, but I listen to it like 3 times a week. It's Blind Adam in the Federal League, An Act of Desperation. This is a mix of folk, like old timey country western, punk. You get some of the like sing along choruses in here, but it's all politically charged, which is like my thing. So I dig this album, and I believe, I don't know, I'm not going to make any claims that I'm not 100% sure of, but it might be he might donate some of the money to charity if you buy it off Bandcamp.
Cool. This was the other album I went immediately and bought a copy of the vinyl from. I was into it. I don't remember much of it now because I had to consume so much music over the last 24 hours. on top of listening to Christmas music, because that's what I do this time of year, is I listen to Christmas music. But yeah, no, I was whatever, it blew me away enough that I went and bought the record after like 2 songs.
Nice.
And he's such a nice dude. He again, not to make this political, but he was going to release this album in 2020, but with everything going on like in the world between COVID, the Black Lives Matter movement, they pushed off putting this album out. That way they could focus their efforts there, working with different charities and helping communities that were in need. So he's just a cool dude.
I loved it. I put Americana folk punk. The album's opening tune would find itself at home at a hoedown. It's rollicking, boot stomping song with enough driving rhythm to fuel a mosh pit. I put Whiskey Breath falls more in line with pop punk rock and roll. Black Jean Jacket has this opening guitar lick that sounds like a throwback to Leonard Skinner, and the rest of the track has this country flavor that complements the band's overall sound. Once again, we have another great entry for Bandcamp Friday because I'm getting this one as well.
This was one of the ones I didn't have a chance to get to, and now that you all just sold it, so
that's what we do.
Check it out.
I'm gonna throw in one more random fact here. The whole album is produced by Chris Barker, who, if you don't know, is Chris #2 from Anti-Flag. So
cool,
nice.
Jeff,
nice.
Jeff, did you ever go back and listen to the ones from last time that you didn't get to?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like Brutally Frank. Did you go back and listen to that one?
I did. Yeah, I liked. Well, I had Brutally Frank. I think I had listened to before we did the episode.
Okay.
But the same thing with last time. There was a few that I didn't really get to dive into too much before we did it because it's just like a lot of music all at once. And and this time, I mean, we should preface that we all put our lists in like literally
super late, dude.
2 days ago.
Yesterday came in yesterday afternoon. Yeah,
that's my bad.
Jeff, give yourself credit. You put your list in like last weekend.
Yeah, true.
And then the rest of us did yesterday.
And then I see them coming through, and I'm working from home, and I'm in a Zoom meeting for like 2 hours, and I'm like, "Where's my list?" So I can type. I'm like, "Oh crap, it's downstairs." I can't leave the Zoom meeting, so I'm just like, "I guess it'll have to wait."
I texted Chris and said, "Where's your list?" And he's like, "I'm in a Zoom meeting." I'm like, "Oh, sorry."
It's all good, dude.
Because usually you're right on that stuff. I'm like,
no. It's been a weird week after having come back and just trying to refocus and get everything back in order, you know.
Yeah, I just want to focus everything on everything else we were doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This time around, I am going to be more on top of getting the episode up on my site for people to listen to. I just last time around, I just drove the traffic to you, which is like I'm totally happy to do. But then I was like, oh, I really should have put it up on my own on my own site. So I'm going to try to be more on the ball with that and have it up in time for actual Bandcamp Friday for December. So
sweet.
All right, Chris.
All right, let's finish it out. Here's my 3. So for me, guys, I like to really find stuff that's different enough. There's things to it that are going to be different so that we don't have I don't have the same just kind of driving feeling going through the entire picks. So I tried to pick 3 that were, for me, really different in terms of from each other. So the first one I picked was the local band from Buffalo called the Isolators. The album is called the Isolators. This is what I wrote as I was listening. So I said, as soon as you hit play, you hear right away that there's this retro vibe to this band. The opening track's got organ keys, buzzy guitars, driving drums, and brazen vocals. The rest of the album is this vibe. This is like if the Rolling Stones came from the sunny beaches of California in the 60s. You can hear the influence of Mick Jagger and Keith Richards and Dick Dale, Brian Wilson all over this record. And they're from Buffalo, New York. So from the moment I hit play, I was in. This was just different enough to make me sit up and take notice. And it is. It sounds like it's that when you listen to that first track, for me, it's like this is like one of those go-go clubs in the 60s. Like there's girls dancing, you know what I mean? And Batman's doing the Bat-Tusi in the corner. Like this is that 1960s kind of vibe. But then it just also had this, I don't know, this grungy, like Stones, like really kind of a rock and blues sound to it as well.
They reminded me of that band that I had on one of the last episodes, Chris, you and I did together. It was just us, Babes. It reminds me of Babes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and like I was totally. It's got that dirty rock and roll sound that I fucking love, that I miss, because you don't hear that a lot anymore. You know, yeah, I was into it. That was my favorite one that you had dropped.
Nice.
Yeah, I wrote gritty vintage rock and roll, Ramonesy style riffs and Jet style vocals.
Yeah, Jet, serious. Yeah.
I dig that kind of gritty vintage sound, or like kind of purposely lo-fi rock and roll sound that they have. It's cool.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't listen to this one. Like Chris's
All good.
list came in as I was driving because I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
show early, so I got to your X Factor.
Oh, sweet. All right, no worries.
But I'm definitely
Let's
gonna check them out today.
Sweet. The next one I have here is these guys are out of Chicago. This is a band called Belmont. The album's called Reflections. Right away, the beat on the opening track is what made me pause and listen because it's immediately like some sort of electro kind of, electronic thing going on. And then when the band comes in, it's got everything you want in power pop post-hardcore. Strong vocals, rapid fire drumming, dueling melodic guitars, and heaviness, like super heavy. They also incorporate this electro style soundscapes throughout, which is what sold me. Yeah. I was into, so like that, again, that's what I like. I like something slightly different. Like, again, it has that, post-hardcore, that heavy melodicness to it. But then in the background, there's all of these kind of electronic soundscapes happening too. And it really helps complement the music. You know what I mean? And that's what really sold me. I was in.
Chris, what is power pop post hardcore? What is that?
It's exactly what you just heard in this album.
I wrote down like new metal meets punk rock. That's what I got. So I was like
new metal.
I was like, man, I gotta make sure this dude's all right. Like
As soon as you said new metal, I was wondering like how many zippers he had on his pants.
Yeah.
Remember those?
yeah. The Jenkos.
I was like, man, this is weird. Like, if like Fear Factory was a melodic punk band too, this would be them. Because Fear Factory to me has always been like that metal that slides into melodic singing, and you know what I mean. And like that's kind of what these guys like. It just had a new metal, like I don't know. I guess it was the electrodes, the electronic part of that music, but
that Linkin Park style shit happened.
When that first track played, I thought it was going to be a hip hop record.
Right.
Like
so did I.
And I was like, oh, cool. He like threw something, just a little change into the mix here. Like we kind of had a lot of like,
I almost did, dude.
Stuff, and I was like,
I
was like, oh, it's going to be a hip hop record. And then it slid in and I was like, whoa, okay, no, it's not. But they do have a really unique sound. And that's pretty much what I wrote. I like post-hardcore a little bit. Again, a band that makes me a little bit nostalgic for like some bands that I listened to when I was like in high school, like Story of the Year and Under Oath and stuff. But I could definitely, you mentioned like the last Warped Tour, like those last few years of Warped Tour. I definitely could picture this band on one of those. Like I feel like there was a good rotation of bands that kind of had that sound that were popular in that Warped Tour scene for like the last few years. For sure.
Just bear with me. I've never understood like all the different like posts, stuff. What is post hardcore? Tell me what that is.
Well, after hardcore. So we have hardcore, and then post adds elements of kind of other genres of rock that were around during hardcore that have now influenced the sound of hardcore.
All right. So it's like when
so anytime you hear that post whatever, it's usually that main sound is still there, but now there's other influences that have changed it slightly.
Okay. So it's the same thing as like when ska is like they're like on their 12th wave, right? It's like 12th wave ska.
Yeah, we could just call it hardcore wave 12.
It just keeps evolving, you get synthy elements and like electronics. SPD pads and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just simple. Like I'm just like, it's just rock and roll music.
Yeah. No, it's good too. And I think that's the thing. Like throwing all those kinds of terms around, it's how you want to use it. And the way I use it a lot of times is based on feel more than actual technicality. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cause you were like, what'd you say? Power pop post
hardcore because it just sounds to me like it's all wrapped up in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
I have to check this band out because you mentioned new metal and like I know our age. Let's not fucking lie about it. No matter how cringy it is to think about it now, like new metal was hot when we were like 18 to 20.
Dude, yeah, when that heaviness was coming out.
Fire. Yeah.
It's true. All right, let's finish this out. So my X Factor, again, this was another one where it was just different enough. I was like, I have to put this one in. Because I had this on my list to do on my own for my show. And I decided I wanted to do it for Bandcamp Friday because I wanted to hear what you guys thought when you listened to it. So the name of the band is Home Is Where, and the name of the album is I Became Birds. I wrote, what drew me to this album besides the album cover art, which is just a photograph, right? It's just a photograph of this girl jumping off a bed or something, or a couch or whatever it was. But I dig that. Like, I love, when you see photographs as just everyday thing as the artwork. So besides the cover art, what I liked about it is how it lures you in with this acoustic guitar that feels like it's going to be a chill album. The vocals are soaring and strong at first, but then this rough edge creeps in. Then there's distortion in the guitars and the music gets louder. And then there's horns. Yes, horns. The song builds to a crescendo before crashing to an end. And when the next song starts out with a harmonica, I'm sold. So immediately I'm like, okay, this is going to be kind of like a folky, but a little bit of, heavy rock, maybe grunge involved. Then there's the song Sewn Together from the Membrane of the Great Sea Cucumber. Talk about titles, right? Again, it starts out like an indie tune, mellow and deceiving, because halfway through, it becomes a blistering Marilyn Manson shrieking attack on your eardrums. And the rest of the songs are a mix of hardcore, alternative, emo, folk, and grunge. And I've never heard a band like this. And I was just like, what am I listening to? I stopped. I was just like, hang on a second. I got to go back and start again, because now I know what to expect. And then I listened to the rest of the album and I was like, wow, this is definitely something different. But yeah, dude, it was enough for me to be like, this is cool. This is cool. People need to listen to this. And I want to see what comes post this.
I'm going to go back and listen to it again. And it was something different that I've never heard before, is exactly how I felt about it. I'm like, and there was points where I was like, this is really good. And there was points where I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Cause like you'll take a song and they'll go in a completely opposite direction than it already started. I'm gonna listen to it again, because I didn't not like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I need to go back and just kind of give it another thorough listening.
I was this was really cool. I wrote it starts out and I thought it was going to be like a folky Saves the Day. His vocal style kind of reminds me of reminded me of the singer from Saves the Day. And there's definitely some like guitar tones and stuff that reminded me of Brand New. They're very like brand new guitar tones and guitar style riffs and stuff like that in there. And it just went in a totally weird direction. Like, it starts out with that, I thought it was going to be like, I was like, oh, cool. So it's like kind of like Saves the Day, but like folky. This is cool. And then you get into that second track by the time and you're like, where is this going? This is crazy. And then the other note I had was that I think it's the second or the third track in. I was just laughing my ass off at the whole section at the end that's like, I want to pet all the dogs I see. It's like, look at all the puppies, look at all these puppies. I want to, and then it's just like, I think there's some gang vocals and it just repeats this refrain that's like, I want to pet all the dogs I see.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, did we lose Mike?
I think my camera just went out. I don't know.
Well,
Fuck. Whatever.
We can hear you. Yeah.
We got your voice. We got your sweet voice, though.
Stupid face, anyways. I love this. This was the one of Chris's I got to, and I'm glad I did, because I absolutely fucking loved it. Like you said, it doesn't fit into a genre. It fits into like all the genres. At first I was thinking like the Pixies, kind of weird. Oh man, my shit's about to die. But then, like you said, you got that grunge and hardcore. I just absolutely dug this album. I can't wait to buy it.
Yeah. I'm glad I found it. And you know what it was is again, you see the artwork, or just again a photograph, and there's something about albums that use photographs. It makes me want to know what's the story about, like what's the sound behind it, what are they trying to give off with that, because that photograph is picked for a reason. There's a reason behind why they chose it. And a lot of times the soul of an album comes through, the sound of it comes through with the picture. But for me, I'm like, I don't know what was going on in that picture. I mean, was she on PCP jumping like a maniac in that room? Because that music just went off. It just went all over the place. It was awesome though. I loved it.
Cool.
Yeah. Right. I love photo album artwork too. That's like my favorite. I like drawn art is great, and there's some amazingly talented artists, but like I'm
Mhm.
always drawn, I think since even since I was a little kid, like the first records I saw had photographs, and I was just drawn into like, yeah, like I love behind the scenes photos or photos
Yep.
of the band in not show like situations. So like sometimes you just want to know like the explanation behind a photo or like why that was chosen. And I'm
Yeah.
always drawn to photograph based album art.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it, right? We got
That's
it.
it.
All right.
Another
that's
one in the
it.
can, man.
Hey, before we go, real quick, I'm gonna throw an audible at you guys. We already did two. We already threw out two albums to get that were, for some kind of fundraising or charitable event. You guys have anything else that's in the same realm that you guys want to throw out there?
It's not out yet, but Squall Green Thumb will be putting out his annual Christmas comp.
Yeah,
Which,
Miracle on Comm Ave. I was
Miracle
gonna
on
mention
Comm Ave. This will be, I think, this year will be Miracle on Comm Ave Volume 5, maybe.
Yep. Yeah.
And that always comes out right around Christmas, and it raises money for Child's Play, I believe, which is a organization that gives it gives games, video games, and I think other types of games to like terminally ill or ill children. So it's a great organization. He does that every year, and it always features a ton of great artists doing
Fantastic
Christmas tunes and also like anti-Christmas tunes. And
wintry vibe songs.
just yeah, like anything that is generally considered a holiday seasonal tune.
Nice.
There's always some really interesting stuff on it, and
I'm looking forward to K.C.U.F song this year because
I am too. I haven't heard it yet.
They knocked it out of the park last year. They
Yeah.
knocked it out of the park.
They always come up with something good.
Yeah,
So
that's
And you can get all those. You can get them all on his Bandcamp, right?
yeah, that has
previous
its own Bandcamp. I believe it's miracleoncommave.bandcamp.com. Yeah.
What about you guys? Chris?
Nothing on my end.
Michael?
I mean, we have some fun stuff in the works, but we're not announcing anything just yet.
Yeah.
So it's coming.
I was actually going to mention the Miracle on Comm Ave one. So Jeff,
Sorry.
No, I'm glad you gave it to it. You gave it more justice than I would have. So, Michael,
I just snuck mine in the middle with doll skin. So yeah, and that was just because I was so psyched to see them last night. Yeah,
cool.
I'm gonna check that out for sure.
Yeah. I don't know how. Did you send them to me before, Chris? Is that how I
No,
know
you know what? I've
is?
never sent them to you, but I'll send you a link. Check them out.
I know who they are. I've listened to them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I like them. Yeah, I just don't know how maybe it fell into
maybe I did. I don't know.
Maybe it was a Spotify. Maybe Spotify did its job once and suggested something right.
They were super good, and I'd never heard of them before. I only checked them out on the way down, and even like on the way down, I wasn't really into it. But then I got there and they played first, and I was fucking blown away.
There you go.
Nice.
Michael, plug your YouTube channel.
My YouTube channel is Punk as Folk. You can see the picture because all of my devices are currently dying because I'm a poor planner.
That's why I wanted you to go first. I felt like you were gonna drop out any second now. So, Chris.
Oh man, check out my podcasts on the network. Website is bicbp-radio.com. I have a bunch. There's also a bunch of other ones that I'm not on. Make sure you go check them out. Support some of these creative, talented folks putting out some entertaining content. Also, my other podcast, Bandcamp. That one time at Bandcamp, new episode today, Saturday. They'll have already listened to this by then, so there'll be a couple between then. That's it. It's all for me.
Jeff.
You can check out my podcast, Dirty Decibels. It's anchor.fm/Dirty Decibels. And this past season also has the video versions on YouTube. If you just go to YouTube and search Dirty Decibels podcast, and you can check it out. Next season is hopefully coming out early spring. So
sweet.
So pumped. And I am Trev, the Struggling Artist. You can check out the Struggling Artist podcast, where I talk to artists, primarily musicians, about life. We promote stuff that they got going on, and we just talk about whatever. We just chop it up. So, all right, guys, this was another successful Bandcamp Friday episode. Thank you so much for joining forces so we could listen to new music and get all the new music we want out there. Hopefully you guys will be back in January. Hopefully Michael's camera will be back in January.
I got nothing planned in January. It's getting too fucking cold out here. So
it's time to hibernate.
I just had so many plans change this week, and like last minute, I just wasn't able to pull my shit together. Apparently,
Nah, dude. Hey, you're still here. We're still doing it. So, all right, guys. Till next time. Thank you all. Everyone, check out everything we just mentioned, from the albums we suggested to the charitable albums that are out there for good causes. And have a good, well, I guess, yeah, Christmas. Have a good Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate. And we'll talk to you next month.
Peace.